Good evening, everyone. We are learning more about that trucking company involved in the crash yesterday that sent a dump truck into a store in Pioneer Square. 5 people were hurt. Police believe a catastrophic mechanical failure to be the tentative cause.
The dump truck lost control on the James Street Hill here in Seattle above 2nd Avenue. It went downhill, hitting cars and a pedestrian before crashing right into a Subway store on Yesler. King 5's Michael Crowe joins us now with data from federal officials on that company that owns the dump truck. Michael.
Right, and those include past maintenance issues, and state officials are also sharing more about what they do to make sure these commercial vehicles are safe.
The pace of Pioneer Square is back to normal after the relative peace was shattered Monday.
I heard brakes. I heard somebody kept trying to push their brakes, or what it sounded like it. And that was like the sound at least was 2 or 3 blocks up.
Jabril Leach works security nearby and watched as the speeding dump truck came down James Street and crashed into the Subway store. Now he shares the same question as many witnesses. Why?
I was wondering if the brakes, if they actually keep up on their brakes. That's the thing, because that shouldn't have happened.
Investigators don't have a definitive cause yet, but the initial assessment was an alleged catastrophic mechanical failure in the truck. Police have not been able to go further than that pending the full investigation. What we do know, the truck is owned by Barrett Services of Mill Creek, and federal records show several maintenance issues. In the past 2 years, the Department of Transportation did 4 vehicle inspections. 3 times, the vehicle had to be taken out of service because of violations. That's a 75% rate. The national average is 20.7. Those violations include axle position parts defective or missing, brake hose or tubing chafing or kinking, and tires flat or with audible leaks. An attorney speaking for the company had no comment on the safety record and said they're conducting their own investigation of the crash.
Commercial vehicles obviously are some of the largest vehicles out there, so we're always looking at them and monitoring, inspecting them.
Chris Loftus with the State Patrol said commercial vehicles need to be inspected annually by the owner and are subject to random roadside inspections too. However, he can't speak to any specifics about Barrett's record.
Can't discuss the specifics of the investigation. However, any safety violation is a serious violation when you're talking about a vehicle of some 30,000 pounds traveling down the road. So we look at everything, and obviously brake systems are a primary and crucial system.
Back at Pioneer Square, neighboring businesses have reopened and Subway is boarded up, though some that were here are now keeping a closer eye on the traffic around them.
If I'd have been that much further back, I would have been that Subway, probably with internal damage.
State Patrol says drivers are also responsible for pre- and post-trip inspections. Now, the attorney speaking for the company said they can't comment on what happened pending the outcome of the investigation. SPD says that could be a matter of weeks or months before we know. And a note, SPD says the driver was not impaired and has not been arrested.
All right, Michael, thank you. On to